The video you're about to watch is a replay of a live session we've had about frameworks for competitor analysis. We are here to help you find ways to think better about what your competitors are up to, help you understand the main frameworks, how to actually properly use them, and how to find the relevant data you can use for your competitive analysis. And even better than this, how to find this data automatically. So that's what this live session is about. As usual for this session, no BS. We're just real life examples. Here's are some of the things and topics that we've reviewed. The SWOT matrix. We spent 5 minutes just reviewing how to properly use the SWOT matrix and how you should think about it as well in real life. How is it really useful for? Also Porter's 5 forces, blue ocean, how to use these models. But here's the thing about all these models. They're mostly macro, looking at the market from above, way above. Where the thing is, when we're looking at what competitors are doing, it's really to drive our next steps, drive some more actions. And this is what we're exploring in this live session. Also, all these frameworks, the data is not included. It's still up to you to actually find the data, understand the data, shape trends, and understanding what the data means. During this session, using Panoramata.co, our goal is going to show you how to get this data automatically and how to get insights out of what your competitors are doing to really drive your next steps and your strategy to outperform them effectively. So those are the main insights and things that we're going to review together during this session. Subscribe to the channel. We do these kind of sessions every 2 weeks. There are new videos on this channel every week as well. Marketing topics, as usual, no BS. And if you're interested to actually track your competitors and really understand what they're up to, what they're doing, what are they shifting, how they're changing, and how to actually outperform them, get recommendations, how to compare yourself, how to track what they're actually doing or what they've done last year, then again, go on Panoramata.co, book a demo with me, get started right away. Find me on LinkedIn as well. Don't hesitate. I'm here to help. And good watch. Welcome at this new session, Frameworks for Competitor Analysis. As usual, on these Panoramata sessions, no BS, we're going to use real-life examples to look at the data, best practices on how to think and how to review what your competitors are doing. Some examples, some inspirations here for this session as well. We're going to be looking at some example of the main models that exist when it comes to thinking about what your competitors are up to, the main limitations, and the main strength of these models as well. We're going to review the main models that everyone knows, some of them a bit more private as well, plus how to do this automatically at the end as well. Without further ado, all right, great, it's recording, we're all good. Let's get started for this session. We're going to be reviewing today a few of the main models that you can see just right here. Those are some of the most known ones. The SWOT is obviously the one that pretty much everyone knows when it comes to competitive analysis. We're going to be reviewing some of the examples together here. There are also a few ones that I do find interesting and I wanted to make sure that I was mentioning today because they're actually here to shape also how you should think about competitive analysis as well. There's PESTLE, there's Porter, 5 forces, blue ocean. And then the limitations of these models, why they do exist, how you should think about them, and the main limitation that you should consider when you're actually using them or actually doing any kind of competitive analysis. And our goal today is going to make sure that we can review at least those 4, maybe more, but review at least those 4, and then see how you can actually do this better and use real life data to actually drive actions based on your competitive analysis. There are great tools. We're going to be exploring at least 2 of them, to 4 of them if we have the time, but then review as well their limitations and what you should do next. This is our last step here, micro, macro, and clear steps. So let's get started with the one that everyone knows, SWOT. And SWOT stands for strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and threat. Basically, a SWOT is a matrix that just allows you to quickly list the inventory of strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats that either a market is having related to you or that a competitor is having related to you as well. It's quite easy to set up and to create. Usually when you'll have a look at it, it just looks like a matrix that looks like this. Interesting. If I'm doing this just right here, building it with you will allow me to explain to you why and how this could be useful as well, and threat. All right. Your whole goal here when you're doing a SWOT analysis on this quadrant here, so SWOT, is going to be listing the main items that you find relevant here when you're doing this competitive analysis. Let's say that, for instance, you're comparing yourself against a competitor. Strength will be what actually you're doing right now better than him. So it's a static, it's a past data, something where you're actually already better. So that's a strength, and that's something that you should look at. So if I do put the explanation here, it's how you're actually better than someone. Weaknesses, it's basically the reverse, how someone else is either better than you, or how, in which areas do you underperform against someone else. So those two here are very static items. The goal here is really to look at your business, at your position in the market in a pretty honest way, I'm going to say, and be able to list quite quickly, all right, I'm missing something here, it's going to be better this way. How am I overperforming this company with what I'm doing, and how am I underperforming? This will give you the strength, this will give you the weaknesses as well. And those are things, when you look at your market and when you look at what you should be doing next, things where you should actually double down on. This is what you're actually the best at. This is what actually you're doing better than the others. So this is the thing that you should insist on doing and repeat over and over again, and use this strategic position that you've gained to actually do even more of this. So when you're shaping your strategy using the SWOT metric, the strength, it's telling you, here's what you should double down on and put more resources on, because you know it's working, you know it's already working, and you know that it's working better for you than for the others. At the reverse, the weaknesses are where your competitors are doing better than you. And here you have two solutions when it comes at looking at this. It's either the things where you don't want to go in because you know that another company is well better positioned than you to actually use this either strategic position or this marketing channel or any really marketing channel here. Let's say that, for instance, you know that you're not good at SEO, but you have a big competitor that is actually very strong at SEO in a specific market. If that's a weakness and you do know that it's a very strong strength for someone else, you might say two things. Either I'm going to let him manage and actually develop his strength on this channel, and I'm going to focus on the one that I'm actually better than him. Might be it might be paid media, might be email marketing, might just something else. Or you might say, okay, that's something that I want to work on to make sure that it will be less of a weakness the less time that I'm checking myself against it. Here you do have a choice on whether or not and how this could actually impact your own strategic thinking. So strengths and weaknesses are pretty much honest review of what's happening right now on the market. Where is he better? Where I am better than a specific competitor. And those are, I'm going to put this in bold here, internal factors. So whether it's strength or weaknesses, those are really internal factors that you should be looking at. At the contrary, at the reverse, opportunities and threats, they're external factors. So this has nothing to do to your company directly. It's how the environment around you, how the market is moving, shaping your company as well, and how it's affecting your company. Those are things that you can actually adjust and act on right away. Those are things that might be trickier to manage. For instance, as a threat here, we could list the tariff, which was a big threat for a lot of the companies quite recently. For the opportunities, could be the tariff as well. For the companies, for the made in USA companies, for instance, tariffs could be an opportunity for themselves to actually sell more in the US as well. But those are external factors. And again, when we're looking at opportunities, it's the events happening that might help your position in the market. At the contrary, the threats are the ones that might worsen your position in the market. But again, when you're looking at the SWOT matrix, you have these 4 quadrants: strength, opportunities, weaknesses, and threat. This is a positive side of the matrix, things that are either helping you or where you're the best at. Weaknesses or threat is the bad side of the matrix. The cool thing about the external factors here, in terms of shaping your own strategy, we've already said that for strength and weaknesses, those are internal factors. So those are things that you can act on right away. Those are things, opportunities and threats that are external to your own company. So you might not be able to manage them right away. Unfortunately, as I am, and as pretty much everyone looking at this video, I guess, you don't have any impact on whether or not the tariffs are going to apply and at which level. But something that you could do is shape your company to make sure that those external factors can have less of an impact or more of an impact depending on what you want to do. Let's say that we have this SWOT and we have the tariffs. Whether it's a threat or an opportunity, it might be looked in different ways depending on what you're doing. As a company, I can decide here to take the tariffs as an opportunity if I want to move my plant in the US, for instance, or as a threat if, of course, I can't do this at all. But the thing about the external factors, opportunities and threat, when it comes to shaping your strategy, your whole goal here is to make sure that you manage to change your plans and your company or whole strategy to limit your expositions to these factors. So here's for the SWOT matrix, which is the most known competitive analysis framework that you can use, that you can quickly use to actually analyze your competitors. That's the first one. But the real interesting way to use it is really to use it to find ways to plan for your next strategic moves. And this is the way to look at them. You really have those internal factors, what I should do, and these external factors, how should I shape my next actions to make sure that I can either ride this wave because I know this is a big opportunity and it's not something that I can manage, but I can put myself in a position where it's going to help me, or a threat, how can I limit my exposition to a threat that I can't actually manage? So that's for the SWOT. It's already 5:13. Also wanted to make sure that I could speak about the PESTLE framework here. The PESTLE is a good example for me of competitive analysis framework that looks good on paper, but only on paper. PESTLE stands for political, economic, social, technological, environmental, and legal. And here your goal is going to be to list the elements that are going to have an effect on your market and on yourself, plus on your position in the market versus a specific competitor. It's pretty much a breakdown and a much more detailed breakdown of the external factors that we've reviewed for the SWOT marketing analysis here. Again, political might be the election of the Trump election. Economic might be the tariff. Social might be a social movement or a lifestyle trend or a new trend on social media, for instance. That's something that's happening here. So those are really all the elements that can actually have an impact on your business, whether or not you can act on them. So those are really all the external factors breakdown in these categories: PESTLE, political, economic, social, technological, environmental, legal. Again, my main concern with those kind of competitive analysis, they're still very popular in a lot of different businesses, is that they don't really give you any next step or regular action on what you should do next based on this. It will give you a context and a proper context that you should use when you're about to plan a campaign, plan your next strategy for the next quarters or the next years, but they're very long term, and they don't really help you shape anything meaningful at the moment. All right, 5:15. So it's going to be the same thing with these two. So the Porter 5 forces is again about external factors. This is the goal of the Porter analysis, to map structural threat and profit pools in a well-defined industry. Once you do have your industry, you want to have a look not at one specific competitor, and that's the cool thing about the Porter forces, is that it helps you think about the market in general, where the market's going and where are the real threats and real forces that you should take into consideration when you are planning future product launches or future big marketing campaigns. It's really, I'm going to say it this way, the Porter's 5 forces is really a avoid big mistake competitive framework, helps you identify the things that you should really avoid, what you shouldn't do. Why the blue ocean is again pretty much the same thing, but it helps you figure out where you should go and what you should do. Blue ocean is called this way because it helps you identify the market gaps where you should probably invest based on how the competitors are behaving, where you're situated in the market as well. And it helps you find the areas, the blue ocean, the areas where it's going to be blue and sunny for the next phases on your business. So this one's pretty negative, this one's pretty positive. I just wanted to also all place them in such a framework here. Again, as we've seen, PESTLE is pretty much static. It won't give you a lot of insights on what you should do next. It will help you understand your current state of business, the current state of the market, and what is shaping it. Those three here are a bit more dynamic because they'll help you either avoid specific mistakes or strategic moves that might be actually be dangerous for your business. These two are a bit more action-driven and will help you figure out what you should do to either avoid a threat or surf, ride on a specific opportunity, or just double down on your strength. The SWOT specifically, for me, is one of the most powerful one for one simple reason, because stating when you need to state here on the strength and on the opportunities, it will help you figure out right away where you should double down on right away. Let's say that you are way better than anyone else in email marketing or in paid media on TikTok, for instance. And if that's a strength related to your market, if you're really the only ones really good at this, then you know this is where you need to double down your efforts because it works well for you. You're the only one. The others might probably be struggling to get there, or they don't want to do because they see how you're performing in that area. So this is really what you should do and double down on quite quickly. And this is the kind of thinking that helps you figure this out right away and in a clear way. So the SWOT has the benefit of the simplicity, and it's a great tool to help you take strategic decisions in that area much more than the 4 others here. At least here, it's really the most action-driven of these 4. The issue here is that all those frameworks here are all macro, and they really look at you in the market overall, help you figure out how do you behave in the market versus the others, but they don't get into the details of the real marketing strategies directly, what's working versus what's not. And at best, they can tell you what to look out for, what you should envision doing, what you should envision stop to stop as well, or what you should envision backing yourself for as for the threat. And the real issue as well that I do have, and that most people actually have when they do start to build those ones, are the data is not included in any of those frameworks. They just tell you how to list things, and once you do gather the data and you have access to some either market data online, or you figure out how to get it in a certain way, or they're just thinking because you know the market well enough to actually be able to build such a matrix. They don't come with the data, they just tell you how to organize the data so it actually makes sense, which is great in itself. But again, the data is not included. That's why within this session, I also wanted to speak about the own frameworks that we've implemented on the platform on Panoramata as well, because Panoramata was born for this specific reason. It's great to have framework to think about your competitors and find ways to actually drive actions or find good statement or position ourselves or think about the main strategies that we want to have a look at. It doesn't matter if we're not able to gather the right data and really position ourselves correctly as we should be in the market. I'm going to spend a bit more time on the frameworks as well. Just want to highlight the main 5 ways you could use Panoramata to help you think about competitive analysis and how it can help you get and build all these frameworks pretty much automatically. The first step is going to be to track what's happening, gathering the data, who's active, where, when, what they're doing, which kind of change they're implementing, what they're keeping on doing. So gather the data, track what's happening, benchmark and compare. It's great to have the data. Then where do you fall in the data set that you're building? Actually, how do you compare against the other? Are you growing? Are you decreasing? Are you doing more? Are you doing less? Which kind of velocity do you have? Get recommendations, what you should do, get notified, get alerts, and generate more assets as you go. Those are the 5 ways you can use Panoramata to help you in your own competitive analysis thinking, using the frameworks as well, which we're going to share right away. But those are the 5 ways that any competitive intelligence framework would make sense, because following those steps here, you're actually quite quickly able to, at the same time, gather the data and make sense of the data that we're gathering, so you can drive either insights or actions right away in your market and improve your position at the same time, keeping this very marketing driven. For the next few minutes, 21, for the next few minutes, I want to make sure that I can share out the platform on Panoramata directly, how we help you achieve those actions here and use the frameworks that we've discussed. So again, Panoramata, for the people who might not be aware, is a platform that helps you track your competitors automatically and help you make sense of the data that we're gathering. So pretty much exactly the topic of today's session. The first thing you'll be able to access when you're on Panoramata, that's the dashboard. Quite instantly here, the main goal of the platform is going to make sure that you can track what's happening right away. The platform is summarizing for you the main updates your competitors have been up to recently, the main launches, promotions, any big marketing campaigns that they've instated and launched. The platform is going to keep it for you and summarizing it for you right away. The cool thing is it's not only about having the summaries, you'll also get access to the data and the details as well. Here you can see the main campaigns, my competitors, the companies that I'm following on the platform are up to right away. And if you want to get access to the specific data itself, of course you can. If I click here on the emails, I'm going to get all the emails these companies that I'm following have been sending as well. And I don't have to struggle anymore to gather this kind of data. I have it there, the creative data itself, plus the average and the global data too. So that's for the dashboard, really to track what's been happening recently. You have that at the market level, as we've seen in the frameworks. If you're specifically interested on one very specific competitor, because that's the one that you want to have a look at and you want to understand what they're up to, you can do so too on the platform. So here we have company pages. So here we have those, which is a supplement for the liver. Here we have On It, which is a supplement company as well, much more in the sport area. And each tab here is gathering data for you automatically on the platform. I'm just going to review the main ones, but emails is going to be all the emails that we are detecting. Ads, again, all the ads that we've detected for this specific company on a lot of different channels with a specific categorization of the USPs, the arguments, the hooks that they're using as well on their advertising. So you can really compare as well the main USPs competitors are using across the market. And of course, you have access to all the data and all the ads right away there. We track flows, landings, socials account as well. Something quite interesting when it comes to driving action and really using competitive intelligence to drive next steps and envision what you should be up to is the calendar, because that gives you instant access to the marketing content calendar or really any competitor. let's say that I'm planning right now, and I guess that's going to be the topic of our next webinar, our next live session. I want to plan for my Q4. Here on the platform, I can right away summarize what they've been doing in October 2024 or November 2024 and see right away which kind of promotions they've done, which kind of products they've highlighted, what were the main campaigns at that time. I have access to all of this right away, so it can help me plan for my next steps. Pretty much the same thing. And that's the whole thing about gathering data and making sense of the data as well. If I want to know what they've been up to last Black Friday versus the Black Friday the year before, I can do so too, and instantly see the kind of discounts that they've done last year versus the ones 2 years ago, and see if there were, for instance, any change, what they've kept on doing and what they've stopped doing as well. Here, for instance, quite quickly, I can see that they moved from 25% of supplements 2 years ago versus 15% of the year after. So they'll probably continue on that trend. But they've implemented a new promotion here with a subscription up to 35%. And that's something that they'll probably repeat again this year. So that gives you, again, some of the directions where the market is going. You know that the competitor introduced a subscription, is heavily investing on this subscription when at the time of the Black Friday. And you know that that's a strength that they might have. At least it's something that they're doing that maybe you're not. That's the kind of data that you can gather here for a very specific competitor as well. We have these, and there are plenty of features on the platform where you can actually get a lot of insights right away. That's for the first part, which is tracking what's been happening recently. The second one is actually compare and benchmark. We have specific reports built just for this on the platform. For any period of time here, I can see right away what are the companies in this jewelry reporting that I've created are doing, which ones are the ones sending the more emails, doing the most promotions, having the best deliverability, which kind of emails they're sending right away. If I click here, I'm able to review all these emails right away. Pretty much the same thing with the ads here as well. Which companies are advertising, on which network, on which proposition values as well. And I can see this right away. And it's nice because I can see the main proposition values they're all using and compare them and myself in the market at the same time. Let's say that, for instance, let's put that here. You can see that Pede Paula is heavily invested in recent promotions with big discount recently and the last days, while the others might be on other USPs here and there. Same thing with the social, same thing with the SEO as well. Something that's quite helpful when it comes to competitive analysis, and that's for me is a matrix on its own. So here you can track again recent promotions, which kind of promotion. The main graph that I wanted to share here is this USP tree map, where you can see the main proposition values your competitors are using for most of the companies on the platform right away and compare their main proposition values. You can see that Kima is heavily invested in unique design, where Mene is on the purity of the material that they're using. And that's two super different strategic positioning that these companies are using. And you're instantly able to see this on the platform right away. And Luisa, however, is pretty much on the usage, tarnish resistant, water resistant, never tarnishes. So you can see that those are the real USPs that they're using for most of their ads. Fine jewelry, the sales, again, on Pede Paula or Monica Vinader as well. So this graph here is great because when it comes to the competitive intelligence frameworks that we've reviewed at the very beginning, this one will help you position your competitors one against another and yourself versus them as well. So this is for the benchmark and compare. Here you can obviously compare yourself right away based on these comparisons. Something that you can do on the platform as well is then receive recommendations. Here the platform behaves. So this is called the insight section of the platform. Here it behaves as if I'm the company's Stripe and Stare, and the platform is going to every single week give me insights and recommendations on campaign that I should create based on what my competitors have done recently. This one has done a 20% sale, paid 20% payday sale, a daily deal, urgency here for the last hours. So the platform is really giving me the main marketing campaigns that they're using in emails and in ads as well, to give you the most recent, most important advertising campaigns they're doing too. And the cool thing about this section is that it can help you anticipate what they might be up to. Here we go. Recently, where's the anticipated ads? Here we go. Oh, and it worked because it's indeed the case. But here, for instance, we're looking at the patterns of the companies, again, that you're following for the recent years and anticipating what they might be up to in the next few weeks as well for the ads and for the emails. That's the first thing. The second one is you can actually customize this part and really have your own prompts applied to every single email and ad and creative asset done by your competitors. Here, for instance, asking the platform to analyze for me the main active ingredients. It's going to say, okay, here's something about electrolytes, here's something about liver health, here's something about hyaluronic acid for these specific companies as well. And it's going to give me the main insights on the active ingredients that they're using, or here, highlight the main promotion and the structure, 20% off, 16% off, 25% off, and it works very well for pretty much any use case. If you're a tourism company and you're looking for a breakdown of the main destinations your competitors are highlighting, then the platform will be able to do so as well and give you data and insights to nourish and help you figure out what the next step should be, again, based on what your competitors are up to, so you never run off of ideas, but data-driven ideas, data-driven by what's currently happening on the market. All right, 5:31, we're speeding here a bit. I'm just going to mention the last two ones, but the last two ones are getting notified on the platform. Once you're on the dashboard, let's go back here. You're able to see what's happening in your market right away within the what's been happening during the last few days here. You're also going to receive an email every Monday morning summarizing what your competitors have been up to. You can also set up specific alerts for specific companies or specific trackers or specific reports for any group of companies that you can define on the platform. And more, but that's going to be for the next time then. We're able to help you generate new assets as well. This is here, this is in beta. But as you're using the platform, saving assets and saving the ads, the emails, the example that you do like all over, the platform is going to be able to help you figure out and generate new assets based on this or whole new strategies all together. Let's say that I do like this ad from Made. I can use this and ask the platform to actually help me generate a video based on this ad here. And the platform, I did it just before to save time. The platform is going to be able to do exactly so, helping you save time, generate more assets or variations, again, based on what your competitors have done or based on what you find interesting in your own marketing strategy as well. All right. We've rushed a bit at the end, but again, the whole goal of the session was really to be able to review the main competitive intelligence frameworks that you could use. We've reviewed those four, these two at the beginning in particular, how they're useful, how they could be improved, how to also, and that was one of the most important things for me as well here, how to gather the right data to make sure that you can build them and help yourself making sense out of the recommendations that they're making to you. Those frameworks, those way of thinking about your competitors' actions are super helpful because they help you figure out and design and simplify what's been happening in the market. It's not worth much if you don't have the right data. And Panoramata, the platform itself, is really here to help you build this on the go and figure out what your next steps should be right away. All right, thanks for listening. Thanks, Fanny, for connecting as well. I don't know if you're still listening to me. I'm going to stay here. If there's any question, anything I can help with, But thanks for listening to this. If you are watching the recording as well, you can subscribe or sign up to the next ones. We run these sessions one every 2 weeks, usually on the Wednesday. So you can, one, subscribe to this channel and or sign up to Panoramata's newsletter, where we do announce that every week. All right. Thank you very much. I'll stay here. All right, perfect. Then thank you. Have a great day. And wherever you are in the world, take care. Bye-bye.